Welcome back to another Monster Hunter Rise video. Today we're going to be talking about the dual blade. Right alongside the sword and shield, this is a very good weapon to use for elemental and status damage, as well as one of my personal favorites. This is my second main actually in the entire series, and it is a lot of fun to use in this game, so let's go ahead and get right into it. Alright, so first things first, this is a very fast weapon, so again it is going to be doing very good with status and element building, as well as doing a little bit less damage but having a lot quicker hits. And there are a few different modes we need to look into. There are three. Right now we are in the normal mode. Right trigger will bring us into demon mode, and from demon mode we can then enter the archdemon mode. So first things first, the wire attacks are going to be a three-part combo, and we can only hit B after those or evade off or go into demon mode. But our B attack is going to be the lunging strike, which is also going to be our opening attack. So we have our lunging strike and then our left roundhouse. This will be on repeat, and we will get a second left round slash once we go into demon mode. But other than that, we just have our turn slash, which we can use to turn in any direction after a hit. And then for now, we do not have a YB attack, but come archdemon mode, we will actually have that. So let's go ahead and look at demon mode. So demon mode is going to be a mode that is going to enhance us at the cost of stamina. We're going to either get a speed boost or do some extra attacks. So let's go ahead and look at demon modes. Demon mode, we're going to hit right trigger, and as you can see, we are a lot faster than we were. We are also glowing red, which means demon mode is activated, and you can't see it right now, but your stamina will gradually decrease. So just keep an eye out for that, because you are going to be evading while you are doing this. And as you can see, the evade animation is also different. It's personally my favorite animation for evading. Let's go ahead and look at some of the attacks now. So we now have different attacks. We have our six-fold demon slash. We have our demon flurry rush with 2 round slashes. The lunging strike and the flurry strike are going to be replaced later on. The six-fold demon are very good for doing a lot of damage very quick, as well as being able to break the combo whenever you need to. Whereas the main damage from this weapon is going to come from the demon dance. That is going to be an attack that we are going to hit YB, and it is a commitment attack, meaning we are going to have to stand here in one spot for quite a bit of time. As you can see, it does take a little bit of time to finish that attack, but it does do a lot of damage. So be sure to cycle between 6 folds when you are not committing to a spot, and then whenever the monster is down, you're going to want to demon dance all the time. So now you'll notice on the right side of our sharpness we actually have a gauge, and going through and attacking in demon mode is going to give us gauge. So to be able to use that gauge, we're going to exit demon mode, and we are now going to have archdemon mode. So archdemon mode, we now have a Y attack, demon flurry 1, 2, and 3. The flurry rush replaces our opening attack, and the Y attacks are the same. We do not get a second round slash. That is only in demon mode. So let's go ahead and talk about the switch skills now. So demon flight is a very good one to use. It's going to replace our opening attack that we were just talking about. Demon mode is going to change to feral demon mode. This is going to be an alternate to the right trigger power up. And then your round slash combo is going to change to the side slash combo. So let's go ahead and look at that. We now have a lunging strike as well as a side slash. So this is going to replace our roundhouse slashes. And if we go into demon mode, we will have our side slash and then a second round slash. Our feral demon mode is going to activate, causing some damage. So as you can see, we just activated it and we have caused a little bit of damage. This is going to remove the speed boost of the normal demon mode, but we are going to get evade attacks now. These are always going to be forward slashes. Even if you evade backwards, it's going to slash forward. This is going to attack where you're evading from in front of you every time, whether it's a left, right, back, or forward dodge. So this is always going to be doing some kind of damage if you are evading right next to the monster. Now, the reason I left the demon flight, which is our first switch skill, off to the end is because it does add a lot to the kit. So there's a lot that we need to know about jumping off ledges, sliding, and aerial attacks, whereas demon flight is going to give us all of that. So we're going to get demon flight, and you'll notice that If we hit B in the air, it will lock onto the monster and we will go down the entire monster's body. This was especially helpful for monsters like Safijiva and Voltara back in Iceborne. There are still quite a few monsters we can use this on and be effective. It'll do slashes all the way down the body, so do be sure to hit B. You can also hit Y in the air, which does a mid-air round slash, and then hit B if you are in the air long enough. Your Y attack is just going to be like that, and then if we vault, we can hit Y and B to scale the monster. Like I said, it will lock onto the monster if you connect with it whilst you hit B in the air, so even if you're far away, go ahead and give it a shot. And this does have to be in demon mode for this to work. If we are not in demon mode, you'll notice we go up, but then we hit B and we just kind of fly into the direction that we are looking. We have a few different actions we can do. We can enter and exit demon mode. We can do our Y attacks and our B attacks, but they will change based on the mode we are in. As you can see, we have a jumping double slash as our Y attack in normal mode, as opposed to the mid-air round slash, which has a few more hits in our demon mode. So be sure to use your demon mode when you can. This will not use stamina, so be sure to use this attack to get up and around the monster as well. This does have an iframe right about there. When you vault off of the monster, you should also be evading attacks from there. Let's go ahead and talk about some of the silk binds now. So our first two are actually very helpful. The piercing bind is going to stab a kunai into the monster, and then anytime we hit that, it'll do some extra damage for us. It will explode at the end, doing a good 200 or 300 damage in the end game, so be sure to use that. The Shrouded Vault is actually going to be a dodge maneuver, so we are going to move out of the way, but if we get hit at any point during this Silkbind, we are actually going to evade through it while doing some damage. Let me show you that. So again, at any point of our Silkbind, we will go through it and do some damage to the monster. You can do it at the beginning or the end, and it will just look like that. I do like to use this as an instant attack just to move through some monsters, and it does only cost 1 Wirebugs. This is a very good one to use in place of its other alternatives. So let's go ahead and look at Tower Vault as well as Iron Shine Silk. Tower Vault is going to be something that I do not necessarily recommend if you are using Demon Flight, but if you are not using Demon Flight, then you can totally use this and have it be viable. The only reason I can think of for using this with Demon Flight is because it vaults you higher into the air no matter where you are. So even if I'm here with infinite Wirebugs, I can just keep going up. But the only reason that I used to use it with Demon Flight was to dodge attacks after I already committed to a Demon Flight. So after I'm already in the air, maybe it'll shoot a fireball while I'm in the air, and then I just need to pull myself up and get out of the way, because the only weapon that has aerial dodges is the Insect Glaive. You can do all of your normal aerial attacks, including scale the monster's body, if you are using the Tower Vault. So I would recommend using either the Tower Vault or the Demon Flight, but not both, because there are some other things that you can use in place of the Tower Vault. Iron Shine Silk is just going to basically increase your sharpness right off the bat, and then it's also going to give you some back as you are attacking the monster. So it's just a small passive buff to your dual blades that you should be having on as much as you can, especially since we have switch skill swapping. So Spiral Slash is going to turn us into a drill. This is very, very fun to use, but it is also a little bit hard to use. So this is what it'll look like. And as you can see, I didn't necessarily connect with the monster. I hit it a few times, but I just drove right through it. So that's one of the reasons this is hard to use. That's what it'll look like if you successfully connect with the monster. But sometimes the hitboxes are really weird, so you really have to learn the monster's hitboxes to be able to use this effectively, especially if you're using it on the ground and the monster's head is on the ground and that's what you're aiming for. You have to stand right up next to it, and sometimes it still won't even give it to you. Spiral Slash is going to be 1 Wirebug. That's one of the reasons I love it so much. It does a lot of damage, and as an alternative, you can actually use this instead of going ground up. You can go into the air and use this air down. So that is one of the reasons I love using this. If you have a monster's head on the ground, you can use an aerial attack and then drill down onto the head, and you will usually hit it a lot more frequently than you would trying to get up right next to it and miss. But that about does it for all the attacks. Let's go ahead and talk about these skills. Constitution is going to be one of the 3 stamina skills that we're going to look at. We're going to look at Constitution, Stamina Surge, and Marathon Runner. These are all going to help your stamina out, and you are using a lot of it in dual blades, so this is a very good way to build comfortably for dual blades. Otherwise, you would just build basic attack. Constitution is just going to reduce the fixed stamina depletion. That means evading, blocking, and other things that reduce a certain amount instead of a gradual decrease. Is going to reduce it by up to 50%. Your Stamina Surge is going to give you stamina back up to 40% quicker. And then the Marathon Runner is going to be the one that goes with Constitution, whereas instead of doing the fixed amount of stamina depletion, this is going to reduce the stamina depletion for things like dashing and being in Demon Dance. So using Marathon Runner is a very good one because it's going to reduce the amount of stamina that Demon Dance is using by up to 50%. Constitution is just going to help you or you're evading. If you had to pick, I would choose Marathon Runner because this is going to help you a little bit more. You're not always evading while you're in demon mode, but you should always be in demon mode. So this one is going to help you a lot more because it's also just a 3-point skill as opposed to a 5-point skill. So do keep that in mind because the Marathon Runner is going to be a lot more helpful and slot efficient for you. Power Prolonger is going to affect the Archdemon mode. This is not going to affect Demon mode or normal mode at all. This is just going to increase the duration of your Archdemon mode. Just like the Sword and Shield, while I don't usually do universal skills, the element might be good to run, but you usually don't need to run them because dual blades have high element. But if you do have status on your dual blades, I would definitely run a status skill if you have it. And that about does it for the Dual Blades guide. If you have any questions, go ahead and leave them down in the comments, and I will see you guys in the next video.